Hopefully you guys don't have a Super Bowl hangover right now. Jeffrey, how are you doing, sir?
I don't know. I'm torn. I mean, like yesterday was weird. I mean, obviously you had the Super Bowl and everything that came with it, and then get the news right before the Super Bowl, like literally a half an hour before. Somebody told me that Lou Hill, longtime assistant, coach with Lon Kruger, has been the head coach at UTRGV for the last 5 years, died yesterday morning. And I was just, in shock right away. But it was true. It was true. He died. He had COVID a few weeks ago and coached 2 nights ago. Picked up a technical. I talked to somebody close to him, talked to a couple people close to him to confirm it, obviously. And they said he had lost about 30 or 40 pounds recently. Also had some other medical issues and got home late and just never woke up. And so then, I get through the Super Bowl. I'm recording a podcast with Robbie Hummel and Chris Holtman. And I look at my phone afterwards and our text chat with Borzello and Parrish and Norlander, I see the news that Pedro Gomez died. And Pedro had become like a really good friend, like because he was actually up here in Newburyport a couple of years ago. His son Rio pitched in the Red Sox organization. So he was up here in Lowell, Mass, which is like 20 minutes, half an hour from us. So he came up to Newburyport. I had just torn up my knee. I remember it well because he was up here and he's like, hey, I know you just tore up your knee. You can't, come out, whatever. I said, no, I'll come out. I'll meet you. So I hobbled out with my crutches, met him, and just a really, really good guy and helped me when I got to ESPN, an elite level reporter, so good at his job. And part of the reason I have really established a good friendship with him was because of Frank Martin. They grew up together in Miami, super close. And I would call him for dirt on Frank before I was going to do anything on Frank. And I remember he'd always call him Francisco Martin. It's always how he would refer to him. So whenever I talk to Frank now, I always refer to Frank as Francisco Martin. And Pedro, he texted me Wednesday. He texted me about College Hoops Wednesday. We were going back and forth because he lives in Arizona. His son Rio went to Arizona. But he was his son was with a bunch of ASU buddies. So he was asking me Remy Martin questions. And he would call me every time he did NBA draft stuff a couple of years ago for the Phoenix Suns. He would call me before that to get up to speed. I actually got Tom Glavine's number from him recently because I wanted to reach out to Glavine, one of the first stories. So again, just hit me hard. It just hit me hard yesterday. Those guys were both young, and then I didn't even see this one, Pat Fillion. I'm sure you kind of know who he is. Maybe you don't, but he was a longtime assistant. He was at Vermont. I think he was a D2 head coach in AD. He passed away last Thursday, and I missed it. And somebody texted that to me this morning. And, I just hope coaches take care of themselves. I think that's kind of the biggest thing right now. People take care of themselves in this climate because everybody's still working. Sometimes like they were working before, instead of slowing down a little bit, and especially coaches and people that are out on the road, you don't have to work at the same pace. Take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. But again, both Lou Hill, obviously Pedro Gomez, Pat Fillion, just, I don't know. It's just tough right now.
Yep. It's the era that we're living in.
Yeah. But, just, I don't know, one day like that. And again, Pedro was and Lou Hill, such a good guy, such a good human being, had a ton of coaches reach out. So anyway, we'll move on to today's slate, but it's kind of with a heavy heart. And again, I wasn't super, super close to those guys, but it hits you. It hits you. I'm not quite their age, but I'm not that far off either. And, I made the decision really not to travel to games this year. And but these coaches, man, they're doing the same thing they always do, and they have more stress on them right now because they're worrying about the kids, and they're probably not worrying about themselves as much as they should.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move forward. We can move forward, and we got a couple of interesting games tonight. We have Miami at North Carolina. We have Ohio State putting their potential number 1 seed on the line by going to Maryland. We have Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham paying a visit to Bill Self in Kansas. But I think the most interesting game of the night is Gonzaga traveling to BYU to take on the Cougars, favored by 11.5, according to our friends over at Bet Rivers. They sponsor this podcast. They sponsor the Field at 68 Media Network. The total there is 156, and this is probably the last time that we're going to see Gonzaga having a real chance to lose a basketball game before we get to the NCAA tournament. So, Jeffrey, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think this is probably, I mean, you look at the remaining games. Now, again, you never know with Mark Few. He could put together a non-conference game here. I don't know when they do it. I assume they have a little bit of time. Maybe do they have it? Maybe they don't have any looking at it. They play Monday and Thursday and Saturday. Then they have a little bit of a break before next Thursday. They could probably throw in a game on like Monday, a week from today if they wanted to. I don't know if they will or not, but I talked to Few the other day about it. And actually, I should write something about it. He said, he's like, listen, because he wanted to play Houston, right? He wanted to play Villanova. And basically he said to me, I said, you could easily just protect your undefeated season. Why aren't you doing that? He's like, I don't know. Like, this is for the kids. Like, they want to play people. Why am I not going to play people? If they had told them we don't want to play these guys and we want to protect our undefeated season, it would be different. But Mark Few's like, who cares? You know, like who? And my guess is too. I wonder if in the back of his mind at all he thinks like, okay, if we played a really good team and we lost, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get their attention. Not that you need it necessarily with all these guys, but like maybe with the freshmen like Jalen Suggs, he might be thinking they're better than they are, right? And they're flipping the switch in the WCC. They've been doing that certainly pretty much for the last few weeks when they wanted to. But now, yeah, at BYU, listen, it's the most difficult team they're going to play left. And again, at BYU, it's not going to be the same. I don't know if you've ever been there, but man, I was there for the Jimmer Fredette game, Jimmer Fredette Kawhi game. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. You talk about an environment. Like to me, that's a top 3 all-time environment for me. And I've been to Duke, 50 times. I've been to Kansas 25 times. Like I've been to Gonzaga, for St. Mary's. Like that was elite level. So like BYU, especially if they had, I don't know what they have if they have fans. They probably do have maybe some fans there tonight. But if they were full and Gonzaga's coming in, number 1, undefeated, how crazy do you think those fans would come out tonight?
Yeah, it would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. So I still like BYU in the first half here.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't you, right? That's a good move.
One thing that we've seen over and over and over again is coming out with these slow starts. And I don't necessarily know what the reason is. Part of it might be because they are – I don't want to say that they're bored. That's probably a little bit too strong. But when you are significantly better than the teams that you're playing against, it's tough to get motivated. Whereas this is the Super Bowl for everybody that they're playing, right? Yeah. So I would not be surprised to see BYU come out hot and Gonzaga come out slow again. I don't know if I like BYU's for the full game just because Gonzaga can run it up on anybody. And
they beat him, by the way, 2 years ago. They beat him by 13. And that was a game Barcelo did play. Now, totally new BYU team. Kispert played. Ayayi played. Timmy was last year. Timmy played.
I mean, this is the thing. Is like every year it feels like we have this conversation where it's like, oh, is this going to be the year where Gonzaga has a chance to go undefeated? Are they going to make it to the Final Four? Blah, 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 blah. And it feels like 3 of like the last 4 or 5 years, BYU's knocked off Gonzaga at some point. I think a couple times it was like towards the end of the regular season and BYU won at Gonzaga. So we'll see. I mean,
they got here's Gonzaga's schedule coming up at BYU, at Santa Clara, at San Francisco. Then they get St. Mary's and San Diego at home. Who knows if San Diego will even be playing by then? Santa Clara is on a pause right now. So again, I've heard from some guys lately that they are now able to schedule non-conference games. At this point, it's like they have, if you got a gap, just go get a non-conference game. Few's always had that ability because he runs the WCC. But we'll see what happens here if he does try to schedule another really good non-conference game, or he just says, again, the hard part is he'll do it. He's got to find the team that will play him, and that will fit in. And their league has to okay it. That's the big thing, Rob, is their league has to okay it. And a lot of the leagues are saying, no. Like, we're not letting you play. Like Villanova, obviously, that was a different deal. It was, Jay Wright felt bad because they had gone on this 27-day pause that had completely screwed up the league. So he didn't want to screw up the league again. So they agreed to play Georgetown, which was actually a pretty good game this past weekend.
Yeah, it was. By the way, I got both of those games right yesterday. Georgetown, Indiana money line. I said it on the stream, and then I completely spaced on actually putting it into BetSport. So it didn't. I got the bets in, I made the money, but it doesn't make me look any better on the BetSport app. So, but of course, I gave it all away on the Super Bowl betting overs because I listened to Gary Parrish.
What was the final? I didn't even see what was the over. I didn't do the over.
The final was 31-9, and the total was 56.
All right, so it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So, I'm on Gonzaga. I'm sorry, I'm on BYU in the first half of the Gonzaga game.
Yeah.
You'd like anything else?
That's what I would do. I did that in the last game. Remember, Portland took the lead, and that's when I took Gonzaga. Gonzaga was down 5, and I got them at given 5.5. Yeah, Joe, you're right. The nice late cover by Cal, and I forgot to do it like an idiot. Like an absolute idiot. It's got to be a new week. I got to turn the page. Last week was not pretty. So do you like
Miami?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I was just going to say, do you like anything else today? I like Oklahoma State in the points. Cade Cunningham played about as bad as he can possibly play against Texas. I don't think he's going to do the same thing against Kansas on the road in Foggy Allen Fieldhouse. I expect him to show up. And then I also like Ohio State at Maryland. I think that Ohio State actually matches up well with Maryland, where Maryland gets their advantages. They're just so switchable.
Yep.
And
that's true.
And like Ohio State can play into that. They're just as versatile. And I think that they're just they're a better basketball team as a result. So by
the way, a tease here for the Chris Holtman podcast later today. You can do the honors if you'd like, because I conducted the interview.
Oh, you got to hear the stories that couldn't got out of Chris Holtman. They're unbelievable, and you just have to hear it. It's
right, elite level.
Yeah. Let's put it like this. I cannot believe you got him to talk about this stuff on the record publicly on a stream that thousands and thousands of people are going to end up watching. So
hey, give him credit, man.
I was going to say good for you, but also good for him for just being like, I don't know if I would have talked to someone.
I'm with you.
Good for him. All right.
Did you see my bald spot, by the way? Could you see it? Did you watch it or did you listen to it?
I listened to it. I didn't see it. So I don't want to give.
No, I'm not giving it away. I don't
want to give away too much.
You saw my bald spot or not?
I've seen your bald spot. Like I don't need to watch on the stream to know.
Yeah, you and I haven't seen each other in about a year in person, so you haven't seen.
It's getting worse. Oh, geez. All right, so, Ohio State, according to Bet Rivers, the line is down to 3.5. I will take Ohio State there. Oklahoma State still getting 5 on Bet Rivers. And what do you think about Minnesota? Minnesota at home, laying 11.
You know how I like Minnesota at home generally.
And Nebraska is horrible, right?
But they played Michigan State tough.
No, they did not play Michigan State tough. Michigan State is just as bad. Like the problem, I watched that entire game, Jeff. That was the worst basketball game I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it was horrific. It was horrific.
Michigan State. Dane Fife is not gonna like this slander.
Hey, it's not slander. If Fife thinks what Michigan State did on that night was good basketball, then Dave Fife really needs to readjust what his expectations are for a basketball coach, because that was horrific.
What's the line?
11.
11. Yeah, I'll take Minnesota there.
I like Minnesota there.
All right, so I'm with you on Minnesota. I'm with you on your Gonzaga BYU first half. and then wait it out and grab Gonzaga when the game's like tied at like 22 or something.
Yeah, just grab a Gonzaga live line. I think that's the play.
Yep. I'm so torn on Kansas. I keep going with them and I keep losing. And the moment I'm going to go against them, I'm going to lose. They're going to play a great game tonight and they're going to win by like 7 or 8 against Oklahoma State if I go against them.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do? Nothing?
I think that you should take Oklahoma State like savvy better. I think that you should take Oklahoma State. The one other thing that I do want to mention is I like Miami plus 10 at North Carolina. There's a couple reasons for it, but the biggest one is that North Carolina plays with the two bigs, obviously. Miami is going to try to space the floor. Miami's always going to play tough. They're going to put people on the ball screens, and this is like the quintessential letdown spot for North Carolina. They just had they played their Super Bowl on Saturday night, and they
I don't know if it's a letdown, Rob. I don't know. I think they could get confidence from that one. I think they could get swagger, and honestly,
what I'm saying is you get all jacked up for this game. You that's probably what they were talking about all week. Like, we got the Duke game. Game. We're going to Cameron. We got the Duke game. And then 2 days later, you turn around, you got to play Miami, and it's just kind of like you're not going to be as fired up for it. So you combine that with the
thing I can say is
they're getting healthy. Yeah. And the biggest thing is, I just love the matchup here because Miami's going to put them in ball screen after ball screen after ball screen after ball screen. And I think that that's kind of how you beat North Carolina in my mind. It's not
still thin. They're still so thin up front. My concern is that.
But Miami, that's what we've been all season long, and Miami just keeps on playing.
No, they got black. Remember that stretch where they lost to Florida State by 100. They lost to Syracuse by 150. There were a couple games there they got blown. But yeah, so the last week or two,
they got what, Jeff?
Blown out by Syracuse. Absolutely crushed. No, they seriously. I mean, I just don't know with this Miami team. I just don't know if you can count on them. So I'm staying away from that game. I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
All right, fair enough. Are we gonna fade Mississippi Valley State and SIU Edwardsville again? We're getting back on that bandwagon.
Yeah, we're going Eastern Kentucky, given the 9. Remember,
we're going heavy again.
It's not like Eastern Kentucky has been idle. Okay, they played last Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Okay, so their legs probably aren't great either, Rob. But SIU Edwardsville played Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So this is their 5th game in 7 days. It's Eastern Kentucky's 4th game in 6 days, right? 6 days. So, listen, neither will be great, but yeah, Eastern Kentucky's been really good this year too. AW's done a really good job with that team and with that program. So I'm going there. Yeah, I'm going Alabama State, given the 19 against Lindsey Hunter. Last time Lindsey, honestly, came out strong and took me down in that one. But I'm going Alabama State. I'm going Mercer. Sanford's coming off a 2-week pause, and the way they play, they love to get up and down with Bucky McMillan, their new head coach. I think they're going to run out of gas in that one. So I like Mercer there. What else do I like? I'm staying away from that Kansas game for now, and I don't have a great feeling Ohio State, Maryland either. I'm going to go with a couple other smaller ones. I'm going to go Quinnipiac again. They beat the crap out of Fairfield the other day. Rematch, and they're giving 3.5. So I like that one again. And generally we don't love those situations, but I just think they're the better team. And I like UNCG Furman. I don't know where to go with this one. I love it. It was supposed to be those two teams were going to be like mid-major, like maybe at-large teams, and neither have done the job this year. UNCG really came out slow. The game's at Furman. I don't know. You have a feel for that one? Nothing.
Not at all.
All right. What about Colorado at home? They didn't cover the last one against Arizona. They're favored by 12 against Oregon State.
I want a definitive word on the health of Evan Batty before I do anything on that.
I don't think it was serious, but I'll find that out. I'm gonna wait on that.
Yeah, I don't think it was serious either, but I'm gonna stay away from that until I know for sure what's going on with him.
All right, so what do you got?
I got 6 tonight. I'm gonna go Ohio State -3. All of these odds are courtesy of our friends over at Bet Rivers. Ohio State -3.5 at Maryland. Oklahoma +5.5 at Kansas. BYU first half +6.5, and then I'm going to try to get a live line on Gonzaga if that kind of plays out the way I expect it to. Minnesota -11 at home against Nebraska, and then Miami +10 at North Carolina.
All right, so I'm going to go with you on the BYU first half for sure. I'm going to go with you on Minnesota. I'm going to go with you on Oklahoma State. 5.5 is a good amount of points. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to go Eastern Kentucky. You are too. You're going Eastern Kentucky.
No, I'm staying away from that one.
All right, you're not going Eastern Kentucky. I'm going Eastern Kentucky. I'm going Mercer. I'm going Alabama State, and I'm going the Quinnipiac, and that gives me 7. So
the PIAC. No one calls it the PIAC.
I'm calling them the PIAC.
You're having yourself a day today, Goodman. You are having yourself a day.
I got to go out and finish shoveling again. It's like a daily occurrence now.
Yeah, we got a good 6 inches yesterday during the.
What time are you putting out for people that are still listening? What time are you putting out the Chris Holtman pod?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Telling you, people,
leading off the 10 a.m.
You're gonna want to listen to this. This is.
And always make sure that if you are, hey, there it is. There's the ding. It took a while, but we finally got it. Make sure that you are following us on the BetSperts app. It's the easy way to be able to track what we're betting and what we're putting in. So make sure you find the BetSperts app. You follow us on BetSperts. That's the like I said, the easiest way to be able to track all of this stuff. And whenever Jeff gets info on players that are going to be in or out that he can't necessarily break, the best way to get that info is if he puts in a random bet at like 3:30 on a Monday afternoon. You probably have a pretty good guess that he got something that led him to that point. So make sure that you follow us on there. My name is Rob Dauster on that on that app, and he is at Goodman Hoops. It's the same thing as our Twitter accounts.